Rev up your engines!
Well, if you've been following me, you know I hate those electric parking brakes. Guess what? Ford is now recalling 870,000 F-150s because the electric parking brakes might turn themselves on while you're driving down the road. Can you imagine you're going 60 miles an hour and it slams on the emergency brakes? Now, this is 870,000 F-150s that are being recalled from model 2021 to 2023. It's not dual exhaust, but it's the ones that have a single exhaust. It's 871,000 trucks. That's a lot of trucks. Well, as I've said, I hate this electronic parking brake crap. The mechanical ones are a cable. They last, they're simple, they're very dependable. You can adjust it easily by stepping on it, not just pulling a knob and hoping the electric motor works, right? The electric motors, of course, are salt. Water gets to them in the winter when you're up north where they put salt on the road. That corrodes them. I see them corrode from that. They're stupid idea, and now they can't even make them right, and they're turning themselves on while people are driving the car. Need I say more? Is this new technology better technology? No, it isn't. The old ones that you either pulled up or stepped on a pedal for an emergency brake with a cable, you know when they're on, you step on them, you pull them, there it is, right? Not some electronic crap that are ready. And these are 2021 to 2023. They're very new vehicles. And they're already ramming on the stupid electric parking brakes while people are driving. Imagine what's going to happen when these things get to be 5, 10 years old. It'll be even worse, right? So, as usual, Ford's going down the toilet with their quality control. They claim quality's number one, which is a line of baloney. They're putting technology in that they can't even install it correctly, right? Turns out the cables are rubbing, they're shorting out, and then, and why are the cables rubbing? Because they want to save a nickel to make the wires just a little bit shorter, so it's cheaper to make them, but then they're too tight and they rub. Ford's at it again. Now they're recalling 35,000. The Mach-E, the electric Mustang. It's not an electric Mustang, it's an electric SUV, but they call it Mustang. They're calling it because guess what? The high voltage electrical connector may overheat. And then, of course, you can have a fire, an electrical fire. I warned people. I said, it's new technology, electric Mustang, looks cool and stuff. But what did Ford decide? Well, they want to sell them for a lot of money, but they want to make them cheap. They're all made in Mexico. Mexico is the land of poor quality control, right? Why would you make new high-tech electronic technology, do it down in Mexico? Because it's cheaper to do. Look what's happening. It's biting them in the rear end. They don't do a good job building. They can't give these things away now. They got like a 4-month supply of these Mach-E's because no one's buying them. You know, some Toyotas, they have like a 5-day supply, right? They got like a 4-month supply of these Mach-E's. Nobody wants the things, right? And now they're recalling them because they might start on fire. Don't want to make high technology, especially new high technology. You know, that's Ford's first real full electric vehicle, right? The Mach-E. But they're making them in Mexico, and now it's biting them in the rear end, and they start on fire, and they got to recall them. Who's running this company? I really think it's not Jim Farley. I think it's his cousin Chris Farley, and they switch places. And he's just pulling a gigantic joke on the world. Stranger things have happened. Anton says, I got a 2014 Land Rover, 121,000 miles. It idles too high, sometimes at 22nd, and then it levels out. Hell, well, one, I would not buy a Land Rover. I would not buy any of the Range Rovers, Land Rovers. 121,000 miles, they generally start falling apart. Watch my video. Make your car run better with a little spray cleaner. You can clean the mass airflow sensor, and you can clean the throttle position sensor. You can change the throttle. You can clean all that using the spray cleaner. The video shows you how to do it. Maybe that'll fix it. Yeah? Now, if it doesn't, it is a Range Rover. They're electronic nightmares, and it could easily be your idle air sensor starting to break down, or that the throttle is starting to break down and it's sticking. But a lot of times, even on those clunkers, cleaning the stuff can get it up. Carbon does build up, and a lot of people don't do any kind of cleaning maintenance. They say, it's all computerized. We don't need to do anything. You still need to do things. You got to change the spark plugs every once in a while, the air filter when they get dirty. And it's a good idea to clean the throttle and the mass airflow sensor at least once every 2 or 3 years, you know? And if that's never been done, start there. Beckmet said, I'm changing out my car battery, and is it wise to plug one of those 12-volt battery packs in your cigarette lighter so you don't have to reprogram anything? What do you think? Well, yes. If you get a quality one and you plug it in, it keeps the power so your computer doesn't lose power and you have to reset everything, right? It depends on your vehicle. Some cars, when the car's turned off, the cigarette lighter still has power, in which case you could use that system. But if you've got a car where your cigarette lighter only has power when you turn the key on, that's not going to save it. Does yours have power? All you can do is, plug a charger for your phone in there. You see the lights on, right? With the car running. Then turn the car off, take the key out. If that light is still on, then you got power going to it. If it's off, no, that won't work. In that case, you'd have to get like a little battery, and you get two little cables, and you connect it to the outside of the battery cable. So when you took the battery cables off, those two cables would still be connected to a 12-volt supply, and then you can put the new battery on, and then when you're done, take the clips on the outside. You can do that too. That's easy enough to do. You just need a 12-volt battery, a small 12-volt battery, to hook up with leads when you take the battery terminals off. So says, Scotty, what's the trick to reset the airbag light on the 92 Camry OBD1 that had the battery disconnected for 3 days? All right, here's the thing. If that light is on for the airbag, odds are you got a problem. It doesn't matter if you even have the equipment I have to turn it off. It's going to come right back on again. And those OBD1, they're not very complex cars, right? You can only get so much information out of them. I have equipment that will plug into the Toyota plug and get some information on the airbag system. You're not going to have it. The thing costs thousands of dollars, right? My advice would be find a guy like me, have a machine, and have him plug it in and see what it says. Could be you got a bad airbag sensor somewhere that's tripping. It could be a lot of things. But there's really nothing you're going to be able to do. If you wanted to try yourself, just disconnect the battery. You said you disconnected it for 3 days. You disconnect it for 3 days, and then you put it back on and the light's still on. It's not going to reset itself. You're going to have to see what the problem is. And then when you find what it is on a 92 camera, you'll probably just live without it and realize, well, the airbags aren't going to work. I'll use a seatbelt. And anyways, the airbags, you're going to trust it to even work? Airbags are explosive mixture of stuff that's supposed to pop when the rack gets in. You think it's going to work after 32 years? I don't think it's going to. I always put my seat belts on. I don't trust them. Well, here's some new technology that's kind of fascinating. There are these guys that are working on jet engines that will use that new sustainable aviation fuel, using that fuel and also using fuel cells built into turbine engine. They're going to combine a gas turbine engine with fuel cells so they can use the sustainable aviation fuel to both power the gas turbine and to create electricity. GE Aerospace is trying this. It's a project called Fly Clean. Now, of course, they got a long way to go. They're trying to combine a gas turbine, fuel cells to create electricity to help make it go. Kind of like a hybrid turbine engine. We got hybrid cars, and I guess they're trying to make hybrid jet engines. Now, it's very interesting technology, but I can tell you, it's a long way from coming to any jet motors that are going to be anything we're flying around in. This is drawing board stuff. They didn't even give the information out of how theoretically the electric fuel cells are going to work and combine with the gas turbine. They haven't even explained that to anybody yet. So it's an interesting idea to make hybrid jet airplane engines, but it's going to be a long time probably before we're ever going to jump in a jet that's got these things in it. That's pretty complex technology, mixing electric fuel cells with a gas turbine engine on a jet engine. Follow it up, see what GE Aerospace does with it, but it's probably going to be a long time, if ever, that we see jet engines, vehicles that we fly around in. They'd have to be totally safe, of course, You got a hybrid car, hey, you drive down the road and it breaks, well, your wheels are on the ground, it's not that dangerous, right? Flying up in the air, that's another story. Well, here's a phrase I was just waiting to come from Elon Musk's lips. And here's something that he tweeted, or whatever you want to call it. We dug our own grave with the Cybertruck. He's finding out that he's having production quality up a wazoo with all the stuff he's changed, stainless steel shell and everything. And now what he's saying is, I just want to temper expectations for the Cybertruck. It's a great product, but financially, it'll take a year to 18 months for it's a significant positive cash. I wish there was some way to say it different, but that's just my best guess. Again, like I say, the Cybertruck is kind of like a Homer Simpson invented. What does Homer want for a vehicle? Fantasy vehicle, the Cybertruck. Keep changing what he wants to do, what's he going to do here? And he even admitted that they dug their own grave with this thing. You notice it's still not out, being sold to the public. I can't wait till they find it. Well, at some point in time, they're going to have to sell this thing to people, right? And wouldn't it be hilarious if it was like the Ford Edsel where they get it out there and it just falls apart while they're driving down the road and people are like, gee, maybe that's Elon's last hurrah with the company, you know? And even though he's saying, November, we're going to start selling them, few details remain known about the Cybertruck, including how much it will cost. Tesla said that they're expected to begin in November, but it's been delayed for. I can't wait till this thing comes out. Now, if anybody out there, if they finally come out and get one, please bring me one when I'm in Rhode Island or bring me one when I'm in Tennessee, because I would love to test the thing out, to do an actual test and get the feedback from the owner who bought the thing. You know, I mean, they're going to sell them because it's a new weird thing and people are nuts about buying anything that's new. You can see it's got a lot of problems. When Elon himself says, we dug our own grave with this one, well, that says something, doesn't it? So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.